Good morning, everybody. It is Tammy coming to you live from my office here in Farmville, Virginia today for the second Sunday sermon of the new year. A little bit after 10:30, but like I told you, time is imaginary, so we try to do it as close as we can. But technology wanted to be crazy today, so we let it be. We stood in our power. We didn't force anything, and we knew that we were going to be live exactly when we were supposed to be. So as you jump on here this morning, please do me a favor. I am going to cut I'm going to just let people know I'm live online. So live, if anyone can help my algorithm. And then I'm going to send that to my brand ambassadors as well, because they usually get a notification that we are live. And so live for sermon. I'm live in a couple of places. I am live on my personal page. I am live in the Grateful Fed page, and I'm live on YouTube in the TAM Unity. So whenever you see this, say hello, tell us where you're watching from. This is way more fun with friends, but we've already been on here for 2 minutes, and there's nothing that I hate worse than going on to a live video and then being there on time, or maybe you'll show up for the replay on time and then waiting for 5 minutes for them to say, when we get 5 people, when we get 6 people. So we're going to just dive in and know that this will find you exactly when it is supposed to find you. Again, I am working diligently to store all of the Sunday sermons. I have wanted to write a book for some time. And so the Sunday sermons are kind of being collected into a safe space. If anybody wants them emailed to have a collection of them for writing, for journaling, whatever, that's what I use them for. Let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in. Miss Sarah Watts from Green Bay, watching from Pinellas Park, Florida. Amanda Giorgetti and Heather Johns from down in Sylvania, Ohio. If you ladies could do me a favor and just tag some folks in the comments. Today's Sunday sermon is going to be a good one. And if you're an OG, you've heard this before, but I've expanded it a little bit. And so a couple of announcements while we're waiting, because we are going to talk about things, but I do want to get some folks tagged and all of that. Grateful Fed has started loading the fridge for Shop the Fridge. The newsletters for for all of my businesses will be out on Sundays. I've decided to carve out time on Sundays. I found that when I take time on Sundays to do this and to be mindful about my week and to kind of create a plan, then it matters to me. It makes the week so much better. So yay. So Sarah was able to shop the fridge on Friday before the weather. She got some pimento cheese, which she was very much complimentary of, which I'm so excited for. She said it was like her grandma's, which I always want to make sure people feel like they've eaten a piece of like love, and sometimes like your family's recipes, things that make you remind you of grandmas and aunts and moms. That's always the highest form of compliment to me that you can give me. But again, I am committed to taking time this year to be here on Sunday mornings between 10:30 and 11, so we're going to say, and go from there. But today's message is one, if you're an OG, you will know, you will understand what we're talking about. I'd love to hear your comments, and know that, let me just do this. I'm going to copy this, and I am going to put this in the comments. I am posting right now. This is one of those things that has been very much on my heart this year. I'm posting this right here. This is the link. If you'd like to come and be live with me and to talk about any of these things and give your opinion, this is about community and about conversation, and I would love to hear your thoughts on that. I'm going to leave that in the comments, and if you want to be added to the studio, we'll add you. We can do that later. We'll do a little section later, but that is there. So if you are interested in coming on and having be a part of the conversation, be a part of this, because we are a community, and that's what this is about. But again, if you're an OG, this message today, we've got I've been trying to do better about not going squirrel, right? So today's message, you'll know, it's a mission. The mission today is rooted in the power of one. The statement, the Sunday sermon today is going to be talking about the power of one. And can I have a hashtag power of one? If you are one of my OGs, if you know what we're talking about with the power of one. I'm trying to see if I have any little things about the power of one. I may have erased everything. I did. I erased all my little notes about that in my media assets from this platform. So whatever. So I told you that over the last several months, when I've been kind of MIA from social media as far as lives and just really kind of figuring out what everything was, like where am I going with this? What is going to happen? The growth kind of happened and it took over. And fear, right? Force. You notice the session today is called the Sunday sermon today is called the power of one, not the force of one, right? So it's also about like standing in your power and allowing things to happen. But I was afraid, right? Fear, everything comes from lack, of letting things go that I really was not maybe so keen on, that wasn't so much within my integrity of what we were doing, but it was a money generating activity. So I continue to do things, generated money out of fear of lack. And we talk about force versus power, and power is abundance and force is lack and scarcity. So again, faith and fear can't commingle in the same space. So I had to release that. So as you see, we have changed things. We had to let go of some stuff, and I had to go through that process kind of in solitude and really get myself crystal clear on what the way forward looked like. And I've talked about this before, and the power of one is tied into this. Sometimes the power of one, right? And always, because it's the power and the idea of faith, it is about committing to the process and detaching from the outcome. And we talk about whenever you are stuck in the mire and the muck and you don't know the way through the problem, it's about knowing the next right step, the power of one, just knowing the next one right move to make. So the power of one resonates in more ways than one, and we'll talk about that today. But one of the things I wanted to share with you today about getting crystal clear and the power of one really arose, and today is going to be talking a lot about our Hometown Hippie crew and our Hometown Hippie Healing Haven. And I have a mission statement for Grateful Fed, which I'm going to share in today's newsletter. But the power of one has been, the Hometown Hippie Healing Haven. That is the doing business as part of what I'm going to do. That is going to be the heart mission, the nonprofit. I was like, how do I make Grateful Fed a nonprofit to be able to do for other people? And I was like, it's a catering business. That's my business, right? Hometown Hippie Healing Haven is my heart mission, and that's what we're going to work with to become the nonprofit and to do good in the world. The Power of One Fund, that's what that is going to be. And I worked on the mission statement. So today we're going to share the mission statement and then go right into our sermon this morning about the power of one and how this all kind of plays in together. So if you can do me a favor and hit the like button, hit the heart button, it helps people find it. If you can share the live out onto your page, and it'll help people find it. If someone can share it into the Hometown Hippie Healing Haven private group, I'm not allowed to do that. I'd appreciate all of those little hands-on things. And here we go. I'm going to share with you, first and foremost, the Hometown Hippie Healing Haven mission statement. At Hometown Hippie Healing Haven, we embrace the profound belief that change begins with one. Each day, we strive to create a world where the act of uplifting a single soul sparks a chain reaction of kindness, healing, and transformation. By committing to helping just one person, we ignite a ripple effect that grows exponentially, inspiring others to do the same. This shared commitment cultivates a global community rooted in compassion, unity, and elevated consciousness. Together, we are raising the vibration of the planet, one connection, one moment one person at a time. Join us in the journey to be the change and to create a brighter, more harmonious world. Hashtag stay elevated. That is the official mission statement of the Hometown Hippie Healing Haven, which will continue to create delicious healing items for you. It will create retreat spaces for you in the future. And hopefully at some point it will create the ability to really raise some money to make a difference for people who need a little difference made in their life through whatever way that we can help them to create the next best thing for them. However we can raise their collective vibration, we want to be able to do that. Today, I want to talk about that. It's this power of one has kind of become my guiding principle because I really struggled when I would see one person watching a live or having an event and one person showing up and really understanding that God said to me, if you help one person, you've done your job, because then they're going to help one person and that person's going to help one person. And we're going to go through all that today, right? When we talk about changing the world, right? We talk about changing the world. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. We see how much suffering, division, and hardship, and we wonder, how can I make a difference? Anybody ever felt that way? I know for a fact, like if you watch the news and you stay tuned in to the fear mongering that is a lot of social media, people feed into it, then we lock in that vibration of fear. We lock in that vibration of the sky is falling. And I have done it. I understand. I can tell you all the time, if you think I'm pointing here, there are 4 fingers pointing at me and 1 at you, right? So don't feel like I'm poking you in the head, but know that we're kind of all in this together, right? So, we feel like, we live in this world of hardship, and this kind of arose for me out of saying, like, we need to do something about it. And people would say constantly to me, oh, you're just one person. Like, good luck. Like, you can't change the world. There's no changing this. I've been around for this many years and never seen anything different. It's always like this. And everything inside of me, with my integrity, when I say I want to think, say, and do, exactly all in alignment, I was like, well, you're right. Because if no one tries, no one will ever make a difference. And I'm like, that's why nothing changes, is because everyone has been so programmed to believe that you don't make a difference. But you do. Every day. And we call them micro moves, right? Little incrementally micro moves for the love to outweigh the fear, for the happiness to outshine the pain. And it just takes just a little bit of effort, right? From every person just giving a little bit more. And the more that you believe that nothing will change, the more that you lock in the fact that it won't. So, talking about that, I was like, how can I possibly make a difference? But the truth is, right, we aren't called to wake up one day and magically fix everything. None of us are called to wake up one day and that's just magically fix everything. Go outside and leviosa, right? It's whatever. That's not our job. Our power lies in the small, consistent actions we take each day to change the world for one person, right? Our power, right? The people that think they can go out and magically change the entire world are probably trying to force some things, right? And these things all tie together, right? It's not like I said, it's not the force of one, not the force of one. It is the power of one. Our power lies in the small, consistent actions we take each day to change the world for one person. And as I've always said, sometimes, just sometimes, that one person might even be yourself, right? It might be you. A few years ago, and again, a lot of OGs on here, but I'm thinking that other people might find this later on this morning, right? As you kind of wake up and you find your internet, it's Sunday morning, it's been some snow around here. I think you're going to find this. And so we're going to talk about people that maybe have not heard this story. At some point, we'll hear this. A few years ago when we were doing Home Centipede Munchie of the Month boxes, right? I was doing very much like intuitively designed, created, themed boxes every month with treats and a theme that had some extra goodies in it. And we did an April showers brings May flowers, wildflower seed, flower seeds. The idea was in April's box, you would have a box of pollinator seeds, and it was from a nonprofit company that was helping to try to create places for like honeybees and for them to pollinate and to bring the bees back, because there's a big issue. There's a whole lot of talk about, certain honeybees and certain pollinators not having, being going to be extinct if we don't do something about it. So I was like, here's a chance for us to make a little small, consistent move to help things. If you have all of these people who are going to get this box and they're all over the country, then why not include something to help not just myself, because I love pollinated foods, right? That's how you get fruits and vegetables and flowers and all the things that you love that are healthy for you to eat, is because the bees pollinate the plants. It's also about, it's very small little thing to do, but it's going to make a difference. And that particular spring, Red and I had this giant pothole in our driveway. And we had been growing, growing cannabis and growing gardens, and had some like potter boxes. And we were using this really high-end cannabis soil called Coast of Maine with all these nutrients and all the other stuff. And as we were cleaning up our grow, we were dumping this. I was like, hey, we need to fill this pothole and we're going to change the soil out. Let's put this really good soil into this pothole. And we will, repair this thing that was, what did I say? We were turning the pothole into something special because we were filling it with gold, so to speak. It reminded me of the Japanese art of kintsugi, or I can never say this, kintsugai, where broken things are repaired with gold, making them more beautiful and valuable than before. So, me and all my wisdom, I decided to plant those wildflower seeds in that pothole. It kind of seemed poetic, right? To take something broken and turn it into a place where beauty could grow, like a place where it was an eyesore forever. And my whole thing was I could just see it. I was manifesting it. I was planting all these seeds. I was going to show everybody like what one person could do. Weeks went by, nothing. Seeds aren't sprouting. Months went by, nothing, right? And around this time, summer kind of happened. People kind of fell away. And I started feeling disheartened in my work very much. I had poured into people, trying to help them make more life-affirming choices. I felt like they weren't growing. I felt like I'd been backstabbed by some people that just were not doing, I took everything very personally about other people's spiritual, emotional, growth, the power of one. I thought that I was living the power of one by pouring into these people, and then really, saying, hey, I did these things, and look at that. Nothing changed. They're out here doing the same nonsense. Like they told me they wanted a job, or they told me they wanted this, and I really helped them do these things, and they backstabbed me and like threw away the opportunity. And I was just like in one of those places. Anybody can I get a hallelujah amen if you've ever been there, where like you had a friend or a relative who maybe was on hard times and they came to you and you felt like you really like gave them a good pep talk. They were super excited they were doing the right thing, and then all of a sudden they just kind of fell off again, and it like hurt your heart. So this is where I was, right? I was in that place where I just questioned, right? I just said all the things you've asked. I said to God, like I was in those Lieutenant Dan moments, and I was like, I've done all the things you've asked me to do, but where's the fruit? Where's the change, right? And I kind of was like very frustrated with like the growth of the pothole not growing, the growth of people not growing, all of those things, right? Just frustrated. And at one day, I went out to that pothole, barefoot in the dirt, just trying to clear myself and ground myself, because I'm like, And that's some really good dirt. I'm going to go put my feet in that. Really, if I can't grow plants in it, I can definitely ground myself in it. And in the stillness, I heard God's voice or the universe's voice or whatever words you use. We don't yuck anybody's yum. I heard his voice so clear, her voice, whatever you want to say, so clear. And it said, look down. Look down. And when I did, if you've been here before, you know this story. When I heard God say to me, look down. And it was just in that moment, I looked down and I saw all these little tiny green buds pushing through the soil. And in that moment, I heard God speak again. And these were the words that were deep. I heard deep in my spirit. Your job is to plant the seed. You've been called to plant the seed. You water it. You create sunshine by living your life in integrity and by example. Then you let me handle the rest. You let God handle the rest. So when you work with the power of one, you have to believe in the power of one. You have to believe and commit to the process and detach from the outcome. And you have to pour into others for the sake of pouring into them in that moment for the right reason. Not for the reward, not for the kudos that you help that person, not just you give without expectation of receipt, right? Your job is to plant the seed. You water it, you create sunshine for it, you help it grow by living your life with an integrity. When you tell somebody this is how you do things and you don't walk that walk, I was doubting, I was frustrated, I was mad, I was feeling taken advantage of. I was not life-affirming choices. I was not growing my seeds the right way. Why had they fallen off? Because I had fallen off, right? You are a reflection of what you put into the world. That hit me like a ton of bricks. And y'all have heard me tell this story before, right? The truth doesn't change. It just doesn't. Sometimes roots grow deep before they grow up. Sometimes the work we do doesn't show immediate results. But that doesn't mean the work is wasted. Our job is to stay committed to the process, to meet people where they are, and to trust the universe, God, or whatever higher power you believe in is handling the outcome. Does that resonate with anybody? Can I get a hallelujah, amen, if that's something that you understand what I'm saying there, right? The power of one isn't about grand gestures or instant results. It's about small, intentional acts of kindness that ripple out into the world. It's about holding yourself to a standard of integrity, thinking, doing, and saying the same thing, and being a living lighthouse to others. So by doing the things for yourself that are life-affirming, that are within your integrity, maintaining boundaries, taking rest, eating good foods, getting in nature, all of those things are honoring the power of one because you matter as well. And the way in which you make those moves into this world that you affect by the power of one is by living within your integrity. I can't want it for people. I have to want it for me. And when I live my life in that life-affirming way, trust me and believe it will ripple out into the world. God says, I got you, right? The power of one isn't about grand gestures or instant results. And this is the channeled piece. It's about small intentional acts of kindness that ripple out into the world. It's about holding yourself to a standard of integrity, which means thinking, doing, and saying all those things are in alignment. And being living as a lighthouse for others. I'm thinking about, so at the end of the month, we're doing a fundraiser for a little boy named Arthur Rowley. He's a 6-year-old little boy. He's got epilepsy, some autism, nonverbal. He's got a lot of little things going on. He's fall risk. He's really been struggling. And we're going to do a barbecue fundraiser for them. And his mom is just overly appreciative of all of the help that we have offered, right? And honestly, I was like, I don't feel like I'm doing a lot in comparison to what the mom has to do to take care of this child on a daily basis. I feel like coming in here and cooking some barbecue and helping promote what's happening. It's just the teeniest, tiniest, thing. I was like, it's not much compared to what his parents face every day. How selfless they have to be in taking care, and any parent out there who is working with a special needs child or someone, or taking care of a caregiver of any kind, that's an act of kindness. That is changing the world every day for another person. And sometimes, like his mom told me, she's like, I feel like, that's my purpose. Like, God put me here to make sure this little boy was taken care of in the right way, and to be his mom. And those little things are, I don't know, like, I help as much as I can, but like the day in, day out caregiving of someone who needs you to just be able to get through the world, I want to give a big kudos to caregivers out there. And what brought me up with that was that she really is selfless with her kids. And, she's that young early 30s mom who's trying that, I'm sure comparing herself to the world right now and seeing all the TikToks and the reels and the Pinterest and all the things that you compare yourself to, right? And I told her, I was like, as much as you want to show up for your kids, and you are just putting yourself last, because she's just now starting to get a little bit of help. Like, she can get social services to bring in like a caregiver for so many hours, and needing to ask for that assistance. And I think she's struggling with it. We talked a little bit, because you feel like, oh, I feel guilty for like needing the break, that kind of thing. And I told her, I was like, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And what came to me is that, but here's the thing, right? This is part of this, is that some days the person that you need to show up for is yourself. We all have bad days, and it's okay to feel the feelings. Sit in the funk for a moment. What matters is that you find a way to wash it off and come back stronger. Taking care of yourself is not selfish in the power of one, right? It's not every day you're going to go out and just be selfless and help others. Some days you have to be selfless and take care of yourself, right? Because being selfless is not, or taking care of yourself is not selfish, right? It is very much part of the process, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't be the light for others if your own flame has gone out. And over the last several months, when I was kind of MIA, I had to remember that my light was dimming, and I needed to step away to fill my cup up, and to understand that I hold value in this world, just for being here and breathing. And I struggled with that a lot. And that was me not being in alignment and not being in integrity. I know a lot of you might feel that way too. I tell people that I try to be as authentic as my food. And if I would have tried to give a message over the last several months, it would have been very inauthentic, or it would have been like Eeyore, like, woe is me, everything stinks. And I needed the last couple of lives to just be crying because I didn't know what was happening. I really had to fall down to get back up, and I know so many of us do have to do that as well. I was in a very bad shadow spot, and I had to remember that I couldn't pour from an empty cup. So if you're out there and you're struggling with that, that was a little channel piece that came in. So I'm thinking there's somebody out there needed to hear that, kind of like last week about like get off the pot or shit. I'm just saying, like, this is very important, okay? And I know Heather is also a full-time caregiver, and the job is the hardest job I've ever had. You must take care of yourself, and knowing that it's okay to get help, and that it doesn't make you a bad person, and that you can't be there, you can't show up as your most, your best self if you don't take time for yourself. I'm going to encourage you all to remember that, right? And I always say, like, again, I'm reminding myself to do that. So I want to encourage you today to invest in the power of one. Wake up each day with the intention of changing the world for one person. It might be a friend, a stranger, or even yourself. Or even yourself, some days it is. Plant the seeds, water them, and let the sunshine of your integrity do the rest. I promise you, if you are living a life that is authentic to who you are, that you are waking up and showing up every day as your best rested, authentic self, you are already helping change the world. The world may seem broken at times. And I am on social media, and I've been trying my due diligence to stay away from it. I miss y'all. I miss y'all incredibly a ton. And you're all over the place. So social media and some type of digital connection is the way that I have it. But to just scroll through the entire thing, it is a lot. And I wish that there was a way for us to be more intentional about how we can connect and make our networks where we're not having to see the fodder. But even those of you who are in my feed and who I love immensely, some of you have locked into the vibration of fear. Some of you have locked into the vibration of I'm choosing violence because they chose violence. And I'm going to encourage you not to let don't let the water get in and sink you, right? Red sent me something a couple months ago when I was really struggling, and he really stepped up big. And he said, you are such a light. And to see you where you are, it's like you let all this, like you're a ship and you let all this water come on board and just sink you. And he said, I hope you'll continue to pale the water off the ship and get to be back on, and flow, whatever I want to call it. But if you're out there and you're locked into the vibration of fear and worry, know that fear and faith, fear and love, everything comes from two places, fear or love. I want you, and here's the thing, fear and love feel the same way. And just how you think about butterflies in your stomach, sweaty palms, the physical reaction to fear and happiness are kind of the same. It's just how you frame it. So I'm going to encourage you all to lock into the vibration of hope, of love, to tune out the things that are not serving. I know the world seems broken, but just like the pothole in my driveway, it can be filled with gold. It can be made more beautiful. Because if you believe that you showing up and doing these micro moves, these incremental power of one changes, your acts of kindness, your integrity, your willingness to meet people where they are, planting those seeds of change, and we all commit to being the best versions of ourselves, to raising the collective vibration, the world transforms. It does, right? Because we're not allowing it to bother us, right? I'm going to give a little story before I'm doing better with time without going on my side trips. I miss you big too. I've definitely missed you, and I've missed these Sunday sermons as well, and they're back, and I'm hoping to compile them with recipes and chapters and things. That's the goal, and this is me holding myself accountable to that and knowing that all things happen exactly as they're supposed to in the exact time. So for those of you that don't know, my father-in-law, Red's dad, has been battling cancer. He has been going through chemo, and it's been a lot of struggles with it causing some infections, and he's been in and out of the hospital or ER, the hospital once, back and forth to the doctor, and it's really slowed him down a little bit. And the family was kind of preparing themselves that, this might be terrible. I mean, they really were. And I refused. I'm going to be honest, through all of what was going on in my heart of hearts, I prayed and I was like, I see his dad fully healed. I see him out in the yard doing things. I see him at church. I see him driving himself to do all the things he did. I see him at this event that's in the future. I see him at that. I locked in the power of a full, complete healing, and I'm going to refuse to hold him in illness and defeat. I said, I am going to power one. I'm going to believe, and I'm going to pour in love and light to that situation. His CAT scan came back fully clear this week from his PET scan, which is great news. And I told Red, I was like, I told you we had to hold in the vibration of complete and full healing. And it's not about getting your hopes up and getting your heart broken. It is about saying, I am not going to lock in that victim mentality. And even if my dad or whoever, the person we love, is not doing well, I'm going to believe that they are fully, I'm going to hold them out fully healing, and I'm going to pour love and light into them. And I'm going to make, even if it's their last year on the planet, I'm going to give them all the love and support that I can in a positive way, not in a woe is me way, right? So that's the power. To me, that was the power of one at work, right? My integrity was, I believe it. Like, I believed it, mind, body, soul, I believed it. And I'm so excited to report that that's the case. So yay for that. I don't believe I have any power in that. I believe God did that, right? I believe the universe beheld the vibration of healing, and that's what happened. And if they watch this, if I don't use, I know that we all have our different ways of seeing things, and I don't yuck anybody's yum. I believe I am spiritual, not religious, but that's a whole other day for a whole other talk. So let's go out in this week and be the change you want to see. You have the power to change the world for one person today and that's how we change the world together. So let's stay kind, stay grounded, and stay committed to the power of one. And that is today's Sunday sermon. And I end them with "So be it, so it is." And that is today's Sunday sermon. That is for 1/12. We've got 1/5 in front of us. And then I'm going to put the date on this one. I've been signing these January 12, 2025. Now, we're going to end this like we always do. We're going to pull our weekly affirmation card from our crystal deck. These are going to give you a little bit of a message. Sometimes it gives me a confirmation, or it shows me there's some kind of affirms my message that the universe is watching out, and sometimes we can't plan it. It adds a layer to our messages sometimes. It gives us a journal prompt. It gives us an affirmation for the week. It's just a little support to what our sermon says, right? So we're going to shuffle this. There's a lot of threes up here, so we're going to do 3 times, okay? We're going to do 1, 2, 3 bigs, and then we are going to pull the top card, and that's going to be our crystal card for the week. And our crystal card is interesting. Carnelian, and it says, feed your creativity. Feed your creativity. So let's see what the feeding your creativity has to do with the power of one, or if it has anything to do with it today. Who knows? We listen and we don't judge. Now, as I'm pulling up the Carnelian card, I do want to put the offer back out. If anybody has something they would like to add to today's Sunday sermon, or like to come live and share, I guess it's like an altar call or testimonials, you can click that. You can come right in, join the studio. You'll be off screen until I add you. You'll see like behind the scenes. And if you would like, you come into like a green room, digital green room, and then I can add you to the feed if you'd like to be added. So I'm going to put that up there and give you the opportunity to add yourself if you'd like to make a comment. Heather has been really great about, she's got this exact deck, and so she's been great about posting the crystal card. Heather, are you able to do that going into this year? Or do you need me to do that? The Carnelian card, which it says, feed your creativity. Your creative side is calling you. Your creative side is calling to you. Rather than waiting for inspiration to strike, be your own creative muse. Choose an activity that taps into your imagination. Allow yourself to get messy and create freely. Silence your inner critic and let go of any expectations about what the process should look like. It's not about making a perfect masterpiece. It's about exploring your personal journey and letting your imagination run free. Which I love this so much, because this is kind of basically saying to you, committing to the process, detaching from the outcome. That life sometimes gets messy before things that are beautiful are sprouted from it. So I feel that this very much resonates with the message today. So remember, it's okay to get messy and create. Your journal quotes or your journal prompts for this week are: what sparks your creative side? Is there anything holding you back from letting your creativity run wild? What do you want to create? Girl, I love that. I can do it. It can wait till Tuesday if you needed to. So what sparks your creative side? Is there anything holding you back from letting your creativity run wild? And what do you want to create? Easy questions, right? And that's interesting because if you are creating something for yourself, it's good to get clear about what you're doing with that. Then your affirmation this week. I am imaginative and create freely. Today, start one new creative project or restart one you abandoned. So that is our Sunday sermon for today. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and showing up. Stay tuned for my mouth's not working. Stay tuned for the newsletters to come out, and I will see you live next Sunday. And as always, I want to thank you for showing up. My stomach just got real upset. Like real upset. I'm going to have to go put something on it. But as we always, we're going to end our live tonight with a little peace, a little love, and a little feast. As always, y'all stay elevated. Don't forget the power of one. I love you. I appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Tammy.